Hi everyone, it's Michael, and today we're going to be dividing number 22 in my orchid collection, my Maxillaria Tenufolia. Now this plant has grown quite well for me. It is, as you can see, very bushy and very expansive, but it does have some opportunities, and that's what I really want to discuss here. It's the why of the division, the why I'm repotting this plant. Now, if I take you in, you can see, despite being very, very well established, there are tons of roots that aren't even making contact with the potting medium. And that's a problem for the Maxillaria Tenufolia because it doesn't particularly like to dry out. I also happen to be a bit absent-minded and I travel a lot. So if this plant doesn't have its water needs met, it doesn't have a great possibility to really put on a beautiful display, to bloom. So this plant has been surviving very proficiently for quite some time, but I think it can do much better in a different grow environment. So what I need to do is connect those roots to the actual potting medium, and I also think I need to change the potting medium. Again, because of my temperament as a grower, semi-hydroponics is just not doing well for this, so I think that what I'm going to do is actually repot this into classic bark medium, maybe a finer bark because it needs to be a little bit more moisture retentive. And I think with those slight modifications, this plant is going to do much better for me. So now let's get into the process. To outline what tools I'm using, I just have my sterilized clipping tools. I have a bottle of spray-on rubbing alcohol, which just as a matter of good measure, I'm just gonna go ahead and spritz it down one more time and give them a quick wipe. And then I have my bucket that I use to just collect old potting medium because leca can be sanitized, repurposed, and reused. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna start the process of wiggling this out of the container. Now the glass containers I use are pretty sturdy, but you still want to be very conscientious of the fact that you're pounding on glass if you're pounding on it to get some of the additional medium out. And then I just like to grab it from the bottom and just give it a little wiggle to see if it's ready to come, and it's not quite. Now, if I take you into the root system, you can see this plant is extremely well established, and I do think it's really gonna fight me on the way out. So I'm just going to start to kind of gently insert my finger right around the potting medium and see if I can lovingly loosen things up a bit. I tell you what, this does not wanna come out. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just beginning to release, but I still need to wiggle out some more medium. Goodness, look how well established it is. I cannot deal with this. Just like a little brick, but it's so close to coming out. But that's a dense root ball. Oh my goodness, I think we're there. Ugh, finally. Ugh. Get a load of this, you guys. That is a very well established root system. So the roots that did make it into the container, boy, they were really just doing their thing. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen this up, let some of that additional medium fall out, and then I'm gonna give it a quick rinse. All right, my friends, can you believe this root system? Just look how expansive and well established, and these are almost all viable roots. It's no wonder that this plant has become so expansive in its size and its vegetative growth because, I mean, it really is, the plants that are making contact with the medium have embraced it fully. So that's all very positive, but now we can go ahead and begin the process of actually dividing. Now, as I mentioned in all my dividing videos, there are some very natural and clear division points for plants. So when you look at the Maxillaria Tenufolia, do you see how there's this kind of offset branch growing right here? There's a clear exit point and it's gonna be right at the base here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a quick clip. Boom, look how lovely. That is going to be such a cute little plant. Now I'm just gonna effectively repeat that process with the rest of the plant, finding its natural division points, and then we'll come back and look at how many divisions we actually have. Oh my gosh, look how cute these are. They're so darling when they're in their more manageable sizes. Now as I continue to work, you'll find some little dead pseudobulbs. In those situations, you just go ahead and gently tug at them and remove them. Now I do think I'm gonna leave this last piece all as one. It could be divided further, but I just think that the root system is all healthy and happy and intertwined, so I'm just gonna leave it as one giant system. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up my workspace and then I'll show you the next steps. We are back, and when all is said and done, we have 6 beautiful, healthy divisions of my Maxillaria Tenufolia. Now, once again, some of the deciding factors with how I divided this plant were, what are the natural division points? Because the plant will tell you. But once I've assessed that, I also double check to verify that each division has a new growth because that's gonna help it acclimate to its new grow container, its new home. And that all of the bulbs are in good health. If there was anything rotting, decaying, or generally looking unwell, I removed it. So this last step is totally a matter of preference. I do it sometimes for some plants and not on others. But just as best practice is to take a little bit of cinnamon. I just put it right in the palm of my hand. And then I reach for a Q-tip and I apply it to the site where I clipped the rhizome. And this just helps it as a natural antiseptic and drying agent. It just helps that wound to close more effectively and more healthfully. Either way, I'm going to put each of these divisions directly underneath the overhead fan because that's going to help to dry out any excess moisture that might have gotten into the crown of the plant or, could potentially create problems elsewhere. But the cinnamon is just an added safety precaution. Now that the cinnamon's been applied, it's just a waiting game. As I mentioned in all of my dividing videos, I do generally prefer to wait a period of 24 to 48 hours after dividing my plants, just to ensure that they are allowed to fully dry. So again, I want those wounds to close fully. I want, if there's any excess water in the plant that could potentially cause rot elsewhere, to dry out all the way. So once I've allowed the plant to fully dry, then I will go into the process of repotting. So I'm gonna repot this in about 2 days. But in the meantime, if you're interested in giving a home to one of these divisions, go ahead and navigate to michaelsorchids.com. I will link the exact plant below if you want one, but they are ready for loving care from nice people. And with that, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, as always, for choosing to spend your time with me. If you have any questions, concerns, or feedback, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Be sure to support one another in the comment section because I'm so seldom available to do so. Don't forget to click subscribe and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, friends.